Hard to the truth. My name is Peter S. Lopez, Acapita de Aztlan. Today I want to talk about internet addiction. And it's kind of hard to talk about because you have to admit it if you have it. And I work with recovering addicts. I'm a former dope fiend, and I mean hardcore dope fiend. And it's hard to talk about because we have to admit our addiction. Let's define addiction in terms of a behavior or a mentality that we indulge in that has harmful consequences. There's different kinds of addiction. There's addiction to heroin, addiction to crank, addiction to crack, and these can be deadly addictions. And internet addiction is an addiction. And it gets to the point where you don't take care of business like you should because you're online, where you neglect your lover or your spouse or your children or even your pets because you're online. So we need to see that this could cause brain damage in the long run, believe it or not. And it deals with the gray matter in our brain. And to me, in terms of addiction, there's use, there's abuse, and there's addiction. I'm in the process of writing a book on what I call radical recovery. My sobriety date is June 24, 2004. So I have long-term sobriety. And I go to NA meetings here and stuff, and they're okay, but if we're not careful, these anonymous groups can become another cult. C-U-L-T. And we need to be aware of that potential. So I think, in terms of my, what I call a tendency towards internet addiction, I need to say, make a medical appointment that I keep on putting off. I need to see about renewing my ID that I keep putting off, and I need to do other stuff. So unless I'm conscious of it, unless I pay attention, I could have a tendency towards exhibiting internet addiction. So the key here is to be conscious of it. Like say I have other tendencies, I call them. Not necessarily a disorder. I have a tendency towards ADD, attention deficit disorder. As a recovered dope fiend, I have a tendency towards obsessive compulsive disorder. In fact, hardcore drug addiction is a manifestation of OCD. And so we need to be aware of these tendencies, not be in denial, and do what we can to correct our shortcomings and get rid of our character defects. For me, the internet has been a great source of knowledge and information and a way of contacting people. I met a few women online. Like one sent me a ticket to go to Seattle for a few days. That was cool. So it depends how we handle it, and if we keep our lives in balance in terms of taking care of our first attention, which is our here and now, where we're at. I'm in Sacramento. I'm in a hotel called the Hotel Shasta, and I'm aware of my surroundings. So, in a way, I'm blessed to be on the internet. But I know that I have to keep more of a balance in my life. Usually in the morning I go out to the local K Street Mini Mart and have get some coffee and kind of watch the parade people going by. So I used to be strung out on crank. In fact, I was a small-time punk dope dealer in Del Paso Heights, which is the largest black community in Sacramento. I'm not proud of this, it's just that I can admit it. And when we do not admit stuff, at least to ourselves, this can cause problems that pop up later on. So we need to be aware of that. And there are no good addictions. We're not talking about addicted to love. The love can be deadly. When you make the wrong decisions, especially with the wrong person, and you get tangled up in relationships that cause your ruin, R-U-I-N. So in our lives we need to keep a balance. It depends upon what your profession is, or what your interests are. I'm technically retired. I'm on SSI disability, and I say that so you're aware that I have the time and situation where I can be on the internet. I don't have any children around my ankles I gotta feed. I don't have any steady girlfriend I have to keep happy. So I don't have the distractions that a lot of other people might have. So we need to be aware of what's going on in our lives and keep a balance, yet use the power of the internet to raise consciousness, to share our ideals, to give our opinions, to analyze, to debate, to discuss, and to help make it a better world. In fact, to help save us from extinction, because if you look at life now on Earth, we are in deep, deep doo-doo. And I've said this before in other videos, so I don't want to be too redundant. I think what's happening now is that we have a lot of our attention span is shrinking. Like, when was the last time, for example, that you sat down and you read a chapter in a book? I don't mean online, I mean like in the book that you hold in your hand. And we process stuff different when we're reading something in a hard covered book and we're online. Still with cognition. Remember, cognition is the process of perception, what we perceive, hear, smell, taste, touch, and we conceive what we think of, and then what we put into action based upon our perception. So we need to be aware that many people have crippled cognition. Their cognition is crippled. They don't comprehend good. They can't pay attention. They're in a constant distraction. Especially those of us who are online a lot. I see it a lot like on Twitter. I love Twitter. I use it as a kind of a platform for sharing news and information and thoughts that pop up to my conscious level. So, we should be a lot more advanced than we are now. We should have a lot more cohesion in our collective consciousness than we do now. And people want to argue about, in terms of politics, because I dig politics, radical politics. We argue about pro-Trump or anti-Trump. We argue about left-wing or right-wing. And a lot of this stuff is stupid. It's not insane, because we're in such a critical emergency type situation on earth here that if we don't get ourselves together and topple the evil empire, we're going to be done as a species. Whether it's through mutual destruction in war, or an event could trigger nuclear calamity. Like right now, the U.S. say that they want to get to, the U.S. military wants to get to Iran in the Middle East, because Iran has not been able to be forced under the sway of the American empire. So we get distracted by, the democratic emails being hacked by supposedly Putin and all these other lies. Because many of us have programmed into us, especially if we're older, this whole anti-Soviet, anti-Russian mentality. When the fact remains that the Russian people should be our allies. And we should, as American citizens, we should seek alliances with all people that love peace and treasure liberty. And the internet can be a powerful, powerful medium through which we can express our solidarity, through which we can express our union and our cohesion as a species. We didn't always have the internet, especially if you're young. You think, wow, just turn on your phone, you're on the internet. I'm old school. I remember the days back in the War on Poverty years when we had like a mimeograph machine. We have like I worked at the Washington Community Council. We had 5 reams of paper, a mimeograph machine, and I would do like a 5-page newsletter called La Voz de la Juventud, the voice of the youth. And it was small, but we got a good impact in the local area. So now we have the internet where we can make mimeograph machines obsolete. And I monitor a few Yahoo groups, and I'm on Facebook, I'm on Google Plus, which is kind of liberal, I'm a radical. And I think we need to be able to, first of all, stop censoring ourselves, stop blocking ourselves because of us being cowards. We're afraid of the NSA or the CIA or some other, the Archons or some other dark evil force, you know. Hell with that. If you're a man, be a man. If you're a citizen, be a citizen. You have the right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to express your truth, the way you see it, the way you want it. It may not be the truth for everybody, but it's your truth. You should respect yourself enough to not censor yourself and to express your opinion without being worried about, you know, the Illuminati, the boogeyman. Grow up. You know, get over that crap. To me, paranoia, you know, I mean, in the big picture, paranoia could be healthy in a certain situation. But to live in constant fear, constant paranoia, is really not to live at all. Not to live a full, healthy life. So we need to do what we can with what we have to express ourselves and to educate people. And we educate people when we're online, we educate people when we're offline. You know, when we're in a meeting, we're at a cafe, you know, that we become educators. And the educator is someone who leads forth. It's not just someone who just imparts a bunch of knowledge like he's the guru. So we need to be able to define the terms that we use, to be able to define reality, and to be able to share our definitions with others so that we create more and more of a common language, a common terminology, so that we're maybe not on the same page, we can be in different libraries, but so that we're on the same wavelength, that we're on the same frequency, so that we create more of a finer and finer collective mass consciousness. Keep in mind that the ultimate aim of fascism is to destroy all relevant revolutionary consciousness. They do not want the slave to think of rebellion. They do not want the workers to think about a strike. Our renters to think about rent control, which is another issue. Our rent's going up here at the Shasta Hotel in January to $501, which is a ripoff because affordable housing is like a third of your income, according to HUD, HUD. And I make less than $1,000 a month on SSI disability. So obviously my rent here is not affordable by that HUD definition. And look at your rent. How much do you pay for rent? So we need to be aware of the tendency toward internet addiction when it starts interfering with our taking care of business, when it starts disrupting our relationships. Yet, at the same time, we need to use the power of the internet to help to educate people, to help to raise consciousness, to help to expand consciousness. That includes expanding our attention span. I had my friend said, well, you should make long videos because, people aren't going to pay attention. I'm saying, you know what, hell of them. They don't pay attention. So what? I ain't paying attention. And if your mind is so nimble or so fragile where you can't focus long enough to pay attention and learn, that's on you. It's not on me. So my responsibility is to help people raise consciousness and care enough to share. So sharing is caring. So if I made any sense at all to anybody, then see where I'm at. And that's cool, and if not, that's cool too. But what I'm saying is that, get rid of your fear. We live in a fear-based society. Society is based upon fear. And a lot of that fear could be subconscious, that we're not even fully aware of how much we're governed by fear. The fear of fascism, the fear of freedom and its responsibilities. We need to believe, especially here in the USA, we're dealing with a paranoid schizophrenic general population that is kept dumbed down, that's kept locked in fear. And we need to really wake up and stay awake. Do what we can to use whatever we have. I just have a little old tablet here. Do what we can to share. And if you're blessed to be on the internet and you have like a camcorder, do a video. Overcome your fear. Let's see your mug. I don't try to be perfect anymore. Let's try to progress on a daily basis. To get better and better, sharper and sharper, and more of an evolving, humane spirit. So hope you have a great day. It's Sabbath here. It's kind of dreary outside, but I keep the sunlight in my soul. Parts of truth.